Hi there, so recently my channel's experienced a huge growth, which means a lot of you guys are new to my channel. Hi. However, if you are new to my channel, I feel like you don't know that much about me, besides the fact that I'm American and I have a lot of British friends. There is more than meets the eye, okay? Today I'm going to tell you 50 fun facts about me, and I'm not even going to tell you that I like puns. I feel like that much should be obvious. Let's get started. My mom told me a lot of lies growing up, and one of them was that if you eat the crusts off of your bread, you will get curly hair. And as a kid, all I wanted was curly hair. So when I'd go to lunch and kids wouldn't be eating their crusts, I'd be like, yo mate, you gonna eat that? And I'd eat all the crusts I could. And yet, look at this. Straight as me. Fact number 2 is another lie my mom told me, which is that eating apples cleans your teeth. And I remember one time Dodie was like, Evan, you gonna brush your teeth? And I was like, just ate an apple. She's like, what? And I was like, yeah, man, that clean your teeth. Just looked it up. Not really. Like, the acidicness of the flesh kind of... Mom, why'd you tell me that? I could have been having cavities my whole life. I literally thought if I ate an apple before sleep, I didn't have to brush my teeth. This ain't apple a day keeps the doctor away, not the dentist. I hate wasting food. Like, if you ever go out to eat with me, you'll never see me leave any food on the plate. I just don't like being wasteful. And I think this is probably because when I was a kid and I couldn't finish my dinner, my mom would wrap it up and say, well, you're gonna have to eat it for breakfast. And so I'd have to eat beans for breakfast, which is terrible as an American. However, in England, people just like, you what, mate? That's fine. Okay, I can eat beans for breakfast. Oh, that's gross. No, it's wrong. Beans are meant for dinner. I hate lima beans. They are Satan's spawn. They are the least tasty vegetable in the entire world. I hate them, I hate them, I hate them. When I was a kid, my mom used to have to bribe me to eat them. For every spoonful of lima beans, I got to have a little mini marshmallow. America. When I went to Nando's one time, I saw a family next to me literally order an entire whole chicken, and they didn't touch half of it. Completely. And as I hate wasting food, as they left the table, I literally took the chicken. And you know what? It was great, and they didn't throw it away, okay? Don't judge me. Everyone at the table judged me. I'm like, listen, untouched food, it's fine. Please tell me I'm not alone here. I feel like I'm alone. I am rarely sick, but when I do get sick, it is really, really bad. Due to my healthiness, I had perfect attendance for every single day in high school, and I only missed one day before that, and that was because I had to attend a funeral. I love roller coasters, and I've always really loved roller coasters, and my favorite theme park is Universal Islands of Adventure in Florida. I've never been to an amusement park in the UK because I feel like I've heard they cost an arm and a leg. My favorite part about roller coasters is that feeling of free fall you get right before you get on the hill, but you also can get that while driving on hilly roads. So I remember when I was a kid, I used to express this sensation to my mother by saying, Mommy, this tickles my pee-pee. And she would just keep that up. And I remember she brought it up when I was like 15, when I had friends in the car, and she was like, oh, Evan, we're on a hilly road. It's gonna tickle your pee-pee. Mortified. I actually own a company now for my YouTube business, and its name is Puns LLC. That's correct. I literally own a company called Puns LLC. I was amazed that no one had taken puns yet. So now if someone says, Evan Edinger doesn't own puns, I could be like, oh yes, actually I do. My favorite holiday is Thanksgiving, which kind of sucks because it's not celebrated at all in the UK. I've always enjoyed playfully pranking people, and even on this past Friday when I was going down the stairs, I pushed the elevator button on every floor, so the person that was using it to go down had to stop and the doors had to open on every floor. I'm a child. I have never once done a sponsorship deal on my YouTube channel. I've met George W. Bush, and I have a signed letter from Barack Obama, both because of the Boy Scouts. I was really late to learning how to swim because I always thought I could just keep my feet on the ground of whatever pool I was in, but I had to learn how to swim for a swimming merit badge, and at one point, I was so bad, when I was supposed to swim 150 yards around a pool, other scouts started lapping me, so when they started getting out, I just got out with them and pretended that I was finished. No one caught me, I was 2 laps under. I've once biked 25 miles to a campsite and then the next morning biked 25 miles back. And I think that's the most physical activity I've ever done in my entire life. Besides hiking down and up the Grand Canyon. I can't touch my toes. Told you so. My favorite video game of all time is Super Mario RPG, but it's really high up there with Chrono Trigger, Yoshi's Island, and Donkey Kong Country 2. My last name is actually supposed to be pronounced Edinger, but I really like pronouncing it Edinger because it's smoother and it comes out your mouth easier. It comes out your mouth easier? Edinger! 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 It just sounds angry. I'm one of those people that likes living in the now, in the present. I don't really dwell on thoughts of the past, and the thoughts of the future are exciting, but for the most part, I like living in right now and enjoying my life as it is right now. I've been on TV 2 times now, and both times have been on BBC for American politics. I guess I'm just their token American.
Evan, what did you think?
I feel the burn.
As cliche as it sounds, I really love long walks alongside the River Thames, and that's like my ideal date. Just take a girl out, walk alongside the river, have a nice chat, and look how pretty London is. As a kid, I really didn't like coffee because my parents were addicted to it and I really didn't like the taste, but nowadays I like the taste and I'll have a cup every once in a while, and my coffee of choice is a flat white. I never had a drop of alcohol until I was 21 years old. For the most part, I only drink water at restaurants because it's free and it's the best thing you can really have for your body. However, if everything else is free, I might have a fizzy drink. Also, I really hate the fact that I've been calling them fizzy drinks because that's what British people call them. Soda, soda, soda. I'm somewhere between 6'3" and 6'4", but I don't really know because I haven't been measured in a while. Also, when I wear shoes, I'm another inch tall. My favorite anime is Death Note. Delete! Delete! My favorite outdoor game is Jailbreak, and I really wish I could take a bunch of my friends with me on a camping trip where we'd all play that at the end of the night. It's my favorite. At the age of 17, I was diagnosed with Lyme disease because I used to live in the woods, I used to play in the trees, and I had a tick on me for more than 3 days. It's that easy to get. But luckily, as easy as it is to get, it's also easy to cure, and for the most part, I'm fully cured. I say I'm gonna work out every other day, and I never end up doing it. I'm not an extrovert, but I'm also not an introvert, because I really appreciate time alone and time with people separately. Like, I can go out with a lot of friends and still feel really alone, and I can also be at home alone and really want to go out and spend time with friends. It goes both ways. I have read the entirety of the Bible, front to back, but it took me 3 years. Before moving to England, I'd planned on moving to Los Angeles with a couple internet friends, and I still wonder what my life would have been like if I'd actually done that. I have my name as my username on every website, so if you're ever wondering, oh, what's his Instagram, what's his Snapchat? It's just Evan Edinger. I have never smoked anything, and I never will. Besides ribs. I could definitely go for some smoked ribs right now. I am rarely bored. I always have something to do to keep myself productive. But I still wish there was an extra hour or two in every day, because I feel like I'd get so much done. My favorite number is 5. This isn't a fact, but I just heard the neighbors having sex. My favorite food is cornbread. I love cornbread. I love corn dogs. I love it. I love it so much. I am somewhere on the asexuality scale, somewhat closest to demisexuality. It still freaks me out that British people eat with their fork upside down.
The fork is upside down.
And then you eat it like this.
That's horrible.
Not like this. I really like pronouncing things with the wrong vowels, and I don't know why. So recently, instead of saying like Snapchat, I'll say Sneep Cheat, Snoop Chat. Or Dodie, I'll be like Doody, Dobby, Doobie, Daga Laga. I don't even know. I just say random syllables, and she knows it's her. I am literally always on my phone, and it's mostly on Twitter. And people always ask me, Evan, do you have this person on Twitter notifications? And I'm like, no, I have no one on Twitter notifications because I'm always on Twitter. The only exception to this rule is when I'm on a date. I didn't realize this until recently, but when I'm on a date, I literally forget I even have a phone. Dodie texted me the other day, and she's like, are you dead? And I was like, oh. You know what? I didn't even remember. I was just so focused on the date. And I feel like that's just the respectful thing to do because, I'm there to engage with that person, and I feel like it'd be slightly rude if I was looking at my phone the whole time. I love dipping my pizza crusts in ranch dressing, and I love dipping my pizza crusts in blue cheese dressing. It is my favorite thing about pizza. But sadly, you can't do that in England because ranch and blue cheese are incredibly rare things to find. It's probably another reason why I don't like salad here. It's the only dressings I really like. I've been in 3 different musicals: My Fair Lady, Damn Yankees, and Once Upon a Mattress. But I feel like my role as Cockney number 1 in My Fair Lady definitely ruined any of my chances of coming to England with an okay British accent. I came here like, hello governor, I'm gonna speak good British, I am. And now I speak hopefully not as bad. That still wasn't the best though, was it? I played clarinet every year up until my freshman year of high school. And I remember I used to have to wake up at 5 in the morning, walk down my dirt road, catch a bus, and then go to band practice. And I wasn't even tired. How did I ever do that? I must have gone to bed at like 6 p.m. or something, because geez, I wake up at 7 a.m. nowadays and I'm like, kill me now. I really like moving things around in my hands. So if I have something in my hands, I'm going to be moving it around. And I remember one time in 2nd grade, I had my floppy disk in my hand and I was moving the shutter back and forth, and that ended up erasing all of my homework assignments. Really showing my age here. Autumn is my favorite season, so while the leaves are still turning, I really love going to different forests and woods and just taking as many pictures as I can and just kind of being alone in the woods. These are some photos from my Instagram I took a couple weeks ago from Wendover Woods. I don't really cry much when I watch movies, but I bawled my eyes out at Pixar's Up, and it wasn't even the scene that most people were crying at. It was in the beginning, and they panned to a doctor's office, and I just lost it. I know what that stood for, and it just made me so intensely sad, and the fact that they picked up from it, and it just... oh man, that scene is making me sad right now. I used to have a pet hermit crab named Sneaker because he used to sneak out of his cage every once in a while, but I went on a camping trip one weekend and had to give him to my neighbor to take care of, and when I came back, he was dead. You could say I was a bit crabby about it. As a bonus fact, I make new videos every Sunday, so be sure to subscribe if you haven't yet, and also, if you did like it, please give it a big thumbs up below. I really hope you liked this because I like sharing a lot more information about myself, so that way you guys can get to know me a little bit better. But I do thank you very much for watching, and if you do have any interesting facts about yourself, please be sure to tell me in the comments below. Other than that, I will see you guys next week. Thanks for watching. Goodbye. I'm always afraid when I do this, it's gonna break my bed one of these days, because Che broke my bed. Why are there so many cops today? I am London with London's cop problem. That was terrible. I hate lima beans. If someone tells you that they like lima beans, they are liming to you. No, it didn't work. I've been on Tubi. Tubi? Oh, I've been on TV 2 times. I've been on Tubi.